Hey there, good morning. Welcome to Stocks to Watch for trading and investing, pre-market prep, something to do for the pro members over at Alpha Wolf Trading every single day, pre-market and post-market. But I've got a lot of stocks to get through, so we're just going to jump right into this. CBIO, actually, one of the pro members just brought this up in the live session. Pretty good looking setup here, and had some news this morning, gapping up a little bit in pre-market. 4 million shares in the float, very tiny floater. Worth keeping an eye on this for a potential day trade opportunity. Let me see what it's doing right now. It got up to about, it's testing $8 right now. So this thing could get up into the 9 and change range. Maybe it's got a very, very tiny float. Don't chase this, but look for an intraday setup and see if that volume continues. See if it gets any significant volume, I should say, and could present an opportunity. I would look for potentially a pullback to 725, right? So you've got a pretty clear area of potential support to bounce off of. So intraday move, maybe we get this gap up, maybe we pull back 725, $7.40, somewhere in that area. See if it acts as an area to bounce from. Potential day trading opportunity in CBIO. All right, IPXL. This receives tentative FDA approval. So it's at an area of potential price support. It is, it's got the 200-day here. You just have a headline that came out. It wasn't doing a whole lot in pre-market. Let me see if it is now. It's not. But looking for it to break over that trend line. Now you're going to have some resistance overhead at these moving averages. But really, the first area of potential price resistance, I think, is somewhere in the $18 range, and that's a decent clip from where it currently sits. So look for some volume. 63 million shares in the float, 12% short interest. It's at an interesting area for potential price support, 1550 or so. Maybe is where you put your stop. Try and get this possibly as close to $16 as possible. Risk 50 cents to make, get it pop up to $18. Pretty good risk reward on that one. IPXL, worth having on the radar for a day trading opportunity. MNTA. So, look, MNTA could be a short if it breaks below $12 with conviction. Could be in a bounce spot right here. So, looks like 12 is acting as pretty good support right here, pretty good price support. And I think I saw something. I thought I saw an upgrade on these guys this morning, but I can't seem to locate it. But good potential bounce spot, right? Look for maybe a day trade, higher risk swing. 53 million shares in the float, 10% short interest. Look for this to go back up and maybe just test that 1380 area, which is where the 50-day simple moving average is. Pretty decent move. If it takes that out, you go back up, you test that 200-day right around $15. It's kind of been bouncing around within this channel, so worth having that on the radar. Like I said, higher risk swing because of the space that it's in. Specialty generics been a very weak space, but worth keeping an eye on. MNTA for an opportunity. KTWO, another one that potentially could be a short. It's at an area of potential price support. I think it was downgraded to a buy this morning from, I can't remember who did it, but somebody downgraded it to a buy. So, you got a big gap on the daily that could potentially fill. It's below a declining 50-day moving average, below a declining 100 EMA, and below the 200-day. So there's not a lot of good stuff look here, except for the fact that it's oversold and it just got kind of a weird downgrade upgrade thing going on. So could have if this breaks below 17, could get ugly. Could actually be a short on KTWO. Cure yesterday got a little bit of a bounce. If you read the blog, um, three sectors that I'm really interested in over the next week or so. One is definitely biotech because of the fact that we've had the ASH conference coming up this weekend. Cure got a little bit of a pop yesterday. See if this gets some follow through. Been watching this consolidation. They did an offering in October at 18.25, trading below there, flirting with the $17 holla, taking out 16.50. I think you look for a red to green potential continuation on Cure. IVC had some news this morning. Let's see, what are they doing? IVC is cutting some of their workforce, and they are reducing their headcount. Looking at this one as a pullback candidate potentially for a swing to $16 or so, the 50-day moving average. Now the stochastic's curling up. We'll see how this reacts to the news, but I like the look of IVC from a technical standpoint, and I think the cutting the heads, that sucks, but they're probably right sizing their business. Pull back to $16 could be the entry for a bounce on that one. CKPT got an upgrade from HC Wainwright with an $11 price target. These guys tend to upgrade these things, and then then they wind up doing an offering. They could give them these lofty price targets. Now, it could get a lift off of this. It's only got 14.9 million shares in the float. Could get a lift off of that, but I would look at these as day trading opportunities only. Most likely, they're going to have to they will do an offering in the near future, and then LPCN is another one. LPCN, the same thing. All right, HC Wainwright, $10 price target, nice lofty target. It's below the moving averages. Death cross over here. Likely going to wind up doing a capital raise. So, maybe for a day trade, you look at these things, but do not chase them off of these upgrades. CDXC came out with some news this morning. Alzheimer's, encouraging results in mice. So long ways away from having any kind of an approved drug. This $8 or $7.25 all-time highs. Got a big cup, a little bit of handle there. Interesting look on this. Could be a nice day trade. Only 41 million shares. Look for some volume. Worth keeping an eye on this, but long ways away from making any real money. Day trade, short-term swing is about it on that one. All right, HMNY. It's gapping up. Don't chase it. Look for an intraday setup. HMNY had a little bit of a bounce. I think they're going to wind up doing their million. They're going to have an announcement about the $1 million member thing, I would think, in the near future. That'll give this a nice pop. It had a little bounce yesterday. See if it gets any follow through today. Still a very small float. Big short interest. You can give these things out as gift cards. I actually contacted the company because I was looking at giving them out as gift cards, and I think that'll give this company a pretty big push. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but worth having on your radar. TROV is a penny play. It is in perpetual downtrend. They dilute the crap out of their shareholders. There has been insider buying at significantly higher prices. This is gapping up off the news they had last night, but this tends to be a pop and flopper. So do not chase this thing. Actually, it's already pulled back. It got up to about 78 cents or something last night. It's already pulled back to 58 cents. You've got some resistance here. Price resistance in the 67-cent range. You got the 50-day moving average. Now, it is oversold. It's only got 30 million shares in the float, 10% short interest. It can have some nice moves, but don't chase the spike. Look for an intraday setup. TROV. IMMR. Nice looking setup on the daily, $7 potential entry. Six, if it breaks below 7, look for support at 650 at the 20 simple moving average. Now that could be an interesting spot to take it for a potential swing. You had a 10% owner that bought 372,000 shares at $7.25. Pull back to 650. Put your stop below 6. You're looking for this to go back up and take out 750 and maybe all the way up to the 200-day at $8 or so. But I like the look of IMMR quite a bit. GIGM, another insider buy. This is CEO bought 55,000 shares at 294 in December, and then in August there was also an insider buy, 100,000 shares at 294. So they appear to be defending this area. This is only traded 8,000 shares, so you got to be super careful with this. Not a lot of liquidity. Could it be a high risk swing at 278, 280? It could be, right? But you have to recognize that there's not a lot of liquidity in this thing. If you get some real good volume and you take out $3, could be a day trading opportunity on a break over 3 with volume. Don't chase the gap, but interesting look. Insiders defending this area. I think it's you get it at 280 or so. I think that could be an interesting spot. You don't have to take a big position. Take a lottery position, right? If this thing winds up getting let me see what this is doing actually in pre-market, because now I'm seeing it's hitting headlines. It's not doing anything in pre-market, but don't chase this. If it gaps up, look for a entry, at where they're buying it or below, right? As a potential entry. I mean, this thing has been all the way down to what do we got? $2.30. So you got to be careful with this one, but worth at least having it on the radar. KNDI, I love the setup on the daily. Had news 2 days ago. Really didn't react to the news, but the setup is looking pretty nice. And I did see that some day traders are starting to take notice of this stock. Look for a break over 760 with volume. Don't chase. Could get a false breakout, but KNDI is not doing a whole lot, but it's been consolidating here. Maybe you look at a $7.670 entry. Put your stop, just below 650. Maybe make it 640 or so, 630. Put your stop there. But pretty good looking setup on daily. That could be a higher risk swing because it's China name, or potentially a day trade with volume. MTOR is another one. This could be a swing. Could be a day. Could be a day trade because it's fairly small float. 71 million shares, 11% short interest. It's had an amazing run. Could be a short. I mean, if it breaks below this 23.35, let's just call it. If it breaks below $23, maybe we get a pull all the way back to the 200-day and this potential area of price support. Or it could be a bounce spot, right? Maybe this is a little double bottom test. We get a bounce back up into the $27 range, $26.50 to $27 range. So yeah, I think these guys got an upgrade this morning. That's what put them on my radar. Piper Jaffray upgraded them to overweight. So maybe if this does get a bounce, 25, you look for 25.50. Maybe take some profit there. You've got potential price resistance. It was acting as support, now act as resistance on the way back up. You also have the 50 SMA right there, right? So you take some off the table there and then look to see if it breaks back through to go up to 27. And then the last one is VTVT. And this one had director pick up 15,000 shares at $4.56. you had a investor purchase $10 million at $4.38. So you've got some uh, buying in this area. Maybe you look for a pullback to 440, 425 or so. See if that acts as support for a bounce. It could be a higher risk swing because it is a biotech stock. You know, try to get this as close to $4 as possible. Did just break this trend line, flirting with the 20 SMA. Let me see if this is doing anything in pre-market. VTVT is not doing anything in pre-market, but worth at least having on the radar. Only traded 88,000 shares, so not a lot of liquidity there. But you know, this thing's been cut in half in a pretty short period of time here. It's below all the moving averages. It maybe you get a test back up into that 550 area, right, where the 200-day is and the 50-day. It's at least interesting to worth watching to have on the radar. And then I'm gonna end this with FRSX. This is you know, it probably would have been better to get this here. This candle out of the lower Bollinger Band. This is like a what was the this is like a mobile eye for China, and you know, it got a little bit of a bounce yesterday, but you know, it's in a downtrend. This thing's been cut in half as well. It was $8 not too long ago, and they reported earnings actually and broke below. But they have something interesting going on. They own 25% of this Rail Vision, and they're looking at potentially doing a public offering on that. That could provide this a little boost. Probably a high risk type swing, maybe a day trade if it gets some real good volume. Don't chase it. Only 58,000 shares traded hands yesterday. Okay, that's it. You know, gap up day. Gap up days can be pretty challenging. So be careful. Do not chase. Look for a good intraday setup. It's Friday, heading into the weekend. So we'll see how today plays out. But good luck trading. Make sure you have a plan for each and every trade. Know your risk reward. And if you like what I do here, come join us over at alphawolftrading.com. I give you my swing trade positions prior to taking them. I put out trade plans. And really the goal is to teach you how to do that yourself, right? So you don't need me. But we have a great community of people. Come check us out. And I'll see y'all next week. Good luck trading today.